A storm never apologizes for the destruction it leaves behind. It was never meant to be gentle. Neither were you. They thought they could break you. They tried to silence you, bury you, strip you of your power. But they never realized you are not of this world. You are something far greater, something they could never understand. They weren't fighting you. They were fighting the universe itself. And now, the universe is fighting back. They called you crazy, made you doubt yourself, convinced you that your light was nothing but a flicker in the dark. But tell me, if you were so powerless, why did they fear you so much? Why did they try so hard to dim something they claimed wasn't shining? Before we go deeper, if you're here, it's not by accident. The universe speaks in whispers and signals, and this is one of them. Like and subscribe, not for vanity, not for numbers, but because when you engage, you tell the system that this message matters. And the more it spreads, the more other chosen ones wake up. Because the time for hiding is over. You've always known you were different, haven't you? That pull, that restlessness, that constant search for something more. It was never a coincidence. It was a calling. The universe has been preparing you, shaping you, forcing you through the fire so that you would emerge untouchable. The pain, the isolation, the betrayals, none of it was punishment. It was training. They laughed when you struggled. They mocked you when you fell. But what they didn't realize was that every scar became a symbol, every wound a weapon. They weren't breaking you, they were forging you, and now they are terrified. You see, the power of being chosen is something that haunts your enemies. It lingers in their minds, keeps them awake at night, because they know they tried everything to stop you, and yet you're still here. They see the shift happening, they feel the tides turning, and deep down, they understand. Their time is running out. The world is shifting. The structures that held you back are collapsing. The energy that once suffocated you is being ripped away, and in its place, you rise. No longer surviving, no longer questioning, but claiming what was always meant to be yours. The universe has always been on your side. It was never a question of if you would rise. It was only a matter of when. And now, the answer is clear. The moment is now. The time for doubt is over. You don't need to seek permission. You don't need validation. You are chosen, and nothing can stop what's coming. So, are you truly ready to step into what's already written for you? The universe doesn't waste time on the unchosen. It only calls those who were meant to rise. If you feel this message in your soul, drop the number 77 in the comments. A signal that you are ready to leave behind the old and claim your place in the new. This is not just another message. This is a call to the first to be crowned. Before we go further, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. When you do, you send a signal to the system that this message must reach more chosen ones. Together, we rise. And now, let's dive in, step by step. If you are a true chosen one, you will feel the pull to stay until the very end. Let's begin. Number 1. The house of lies is burning, and they can't save themselves. They built a castle out of illusions, thinking they ruled. But now, the walls are crumbling, and they're trapped inside their own deception. They thought they had you in check, trapped in a game they rigged from the start. They spent years weaving their lies, designing systems to control, to confine, to break you before you even knew who you were. But they made one fatal mistake. They forgot that the universe never loses. And when you are chosen by the universe itself, you don't play by their rules, you shatter them. The chains they used to bind you, they were never real, just carefully crafted illusions, designed to make you doubt, to make you feel powerless, to make you think you had no way out. But the moment you saw through the lie, it all started to fall apart. Look around. The world that once seemed unshakable is cracking at the seams. The people who mocked you, doubted you, are now scrambling to hold on to a system that's collapsing under its own weight. They thought they had control, but control was never theirs to keep. They told you to stay small, to follow the path laid out for you. They told you that stepping outside the lines would lead to failure, to ruin, to loneliness. And yet, here you are, still standing, still rising, still proving every single one of them wrong. If you were as weak as they claimed, why did they fight so hard to keep you down? Because they knew that once you woke up, nothing could stop you. They knew the second you recognized your power, their game was over. They weren't afraid of you failing. They were terrified of you succeeding. You think it was just bad luck, just coincidences that tried to break you? No, they knew who you were before you even knew yourself. They saw your light long before you did, and they tried everything to smother it. That's why they sent distractions. That's why they sent betrayals. That's why they sent pain. It was all designed to make you question, to make you hesitate, to make you doubt. And yet, here you are. The universe never abandons its chosen. It aligns, it shifts, it orchestrates. Every time they tried to destroy you, the universe used it to build you. Every battle made you sharper. Every loss taught you something they never wanted you to know, that you were never their prisoner. You were their reckoning. They never stood a chance against someone who was designed to rise. And yet, some of you still hesitate. Some of you still question your worth. Why? After everything you've survived, after everything you've conquered, how dare you doubt yourself now? Do you think you've come this far just by accident? Do you think the universe would waste time on someone who wasn't meant for more? You were chosen for a reason. But listen closely. Being chosen is not just about survival. It's about stepping into your power completely and unapologetically. You don't just escape the system. You become the system. You don't just walk away. You build something they can never touch. They thought they were playing you, but they were playing against forces they couldn't even comprehend. The universe does not lose, and neither do you. The old ways are collapsing. The illusions are burning, and they can do nothing to stop it. The masks they wore to keep their grip on power, falling away. The walls they built to keep you in, reduced to dust, and the very system they swore would stand forever, crumbling beneath their feet. You don't ask for permission to shine. You set the standard. This world no longer belongs to them. It belongs to you. And no matter how hard they fight, no matter how desperately they claw at the ruins of what they once controlled, there is no stopping what has already begun. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to follow. You were always meant to lead. And now you step forward. Now you claim what was always yours. Now you leave for good. Because the first to be crowned are not those who waited. They are the ones who took what was already theirs. Number 2, the fire that can't be contained, and the world feels it. A wildfire doesn't ask for permission to burn. It simply consumes everything in its path. That's what your authenticity does. It sets fire to the illusions they tried to force upon you. The path of obedience? That was never yours to walk. They wanted you to fit in, to blend, to be just another piece in their carefully constructed puzzle. But the problem is, you were never made to be placed inside a box. You were never meant to be controlled. And that terrifies them. Your authenticity isn't just a personal truth. It's a force of nature. It disrupts, it dismantles, it exposes. Your mere existence is a rebellion against the old systems, against the silent compliance they spent centuries enforcing. They don't just fear your words, they fear the fire in your presence. Because every step you take, every breath you exhale, you bring change. And change is the one thing they never wanted. You weren't born to bow. You weren't born to follow. You were born to lead, to command the very forces of the universe that align behind you. They know this. That's why they tried so hard to make you question yourself, to make you shrink, to make you hesitate before stepping into your full power. They never wanted you to wake up because they knew the moment you did, everything they built would collapse. And now, here you stand, no longer bending, no longer apologizing, no longer seeking approval from a system that was never meant to hold you. Your energy alone shakes the ground beneath them. Your presence shifts the very air they breathe. You are the storm they swore would never come. And the world is watching. They see you. Even those who refuse to admit it, they feel you. They feel the disruption, the shift, the undeniable force of someone who will no longer be controlled. The ones who once dismissed you, laughed at you, questioned you. They no longer have that luxury, because the reality is, they can't ignore what's happening. You leave ripples that turn into waves, and those waves, they crash against the very foundations that once kept humanity asleep. You are not a whisper, you are a reckoning. And let's be clear, you didn't come here to ask for change. You came here to be the change. The universe doesn't ask you to be someone else. It doesn't demand that you mold yourself into an image that makes others comfortable. No, the universe chose you exactly as you are. The fire, the intensity, the truth in your voice. It was never meant to be silenced. It was meant to burn away the illusions. They built their world on a foundation of lies, and now you're the earthquake tearing it apart. This is why they resist you. This is why they fight so hard to suppress you, because your existence alone is proof that their time is over. And the harder they fight, the more desperate they become, the clearer it is that they have already lost. You were never here to conform. You were never here to bow your head and walk the path they laid out for you. No, you were sent to walk through the fire and emerge untouched. You were sent to set fire to the very systems that tried to cage you. And now, there is no turning back. People can no longer pretend they don't see it. They can no longer deny that something bigger is happening, that the world is shifting, that the old ways are breaking, that a new order is rising, one that no longer serves the controllers, but the awakened. And at the center of it all, you. the fire that can't be contained, the storm that won't be stopped, the chosen one who was always destined to lead the way. Number 3. The walls are cracking and they can't stop it. When truth walks into the room, lies scatter like insects exposed to the light. That's why they fear you. That's why they resist you, because you are the light they can no longer run from. They feel it, even if they don't speak it, even if they deny it with every breath. They know something is shifting, something unstoppable, and you are at the center of it. The old world was built on deception, on keeping people blind, obedient, and afraid. They created a system where silence was rewarded, where questioning was punished, where stepping outside the boundaries meant exile. They needed you to doubt yourself because the moment you stopped doubting, you became a threat. And now you exist as a living contradiction to everything they built. You prove their system is a lie simply by being who you are. That's why they fight so hard. That's why the resistance is so fierce. Because your presence alone forces them to see what they don't want to see. You expose the truth they've spent lifetimes running from. When a dam starts to crack, the flood is inevitable. You are that crack, and they know the flood is coming. But here's the truth they don't want to admit. Resisting you is useless. They can try to silence you, ridicule you, cast you aside. They can try to throw obstacles in your way, manipulate, lie, and pretend they don't see what's happening. But the truth? The shift is already in motion. This isn't just about you. This isn't just about them. This is bigger than all of us. The universe itself has spoken, and no force, no system, no lie, no illusion can stand against it. They mocked you when you first started waking up. They dismissed you as lost, as crazy, as someone who just didn't fit in. But that was never an insult. That was confirmation. You weren't supposed to fit in with a system designed to keep people asleep. Now, the same ones who ridiculed you, they're watching you. They may not admit it yet, but their eyes are on you. They may not understand why, but their energy is drawn to you. They are still resisting, still holding on to what's crumbling. But deep down, they know you are ahead of them. And whether they like it or not, they are following your lead. The ones who laughed at you will one day repeat your words as if they were their own. But let's be clear, you didn't come here to seek validation from those who once rejected you. You don't need their approval. You never did. You are not waiting for them to wake up. You are not slowing down to make them comfortable. You are moving forward, with or without them, because the time of illusions is over. This is the era of truth, and you are its brightest flame. And fire does not ask for permission to burn. They cannot contain you now. They cannot control what has already been set into motion. They can resist, they can fight, but they cannot win, because this is bigger than them. This is bigger than you. This is the universe realigning itself. And the only ones who will survive this shift are the ones who choose to embrace it. The house is already on fire. The only choice left is to burn with it or step into something new. And you already know where you stand. You are not afraid. You've known all along that this was your purpose, to dismantle the false and build the real. You are not here to play small. You are not here to make others comfortable. You are here to shatter the old and bring forth the new. So let them resist. Let them doubt. Let them cling to their fading illusions. It changes nothing, because you are already walking the path they fear to tread. And in the end, they will follow, even if they don't realize it yet. Number 4, they tried to bury you. Now they run from your light. They called you a fool, but now they study your every move. They tried to erase you, but now they whisper your name. They never wanted you to rise, but now they can't keep up. The systems that sought to control you, they failed. Every rule they crafted, every illusion they spun, every attempt to keep you confined, it all crumbled the moment you realized you never needed them. They built their power on deception, on keeping you small, on convincing you that without their approval, without their validation, you were nothing. But look at you now, standing in the fire they swore would consume you, untouched, unshaken, unstoppable. They tried to diminish your power, to make you doubt your own strength, but all they did was push you deeper into your awakening. All they did was fuel the fire. Every attempt to break you only sharpened your edges. Every door they slammed in your face only made you build your own kingdom. And now they stand in the shadow of your influence, watching, silent, hoping you don't notice the way they scramble to keep up with the path you carve effortlessly. The same ones who laughed at you now struggle to match your steps, but they never will, because you were never meant to follow. You were meant to lead. And here's what they hate the most. You are not waiting. You are not pausing for them to catch up. You are not holding back to make them comfortable. You are moving forward, relentlessly, with or without them. They thought you needed their permission. They thought you needed their approval. But you don't ask for what is already yours. You lead because that is who you are. Because the universe chose you for this. Because every battle, every hardship, every moment of doubt, it was all preparation for this moment. They tried to bury you, but they forgot. You are the seed. You've outgrown their limits. The walls they built can no longer contain you. The games they play are beneath you. You have stepped into your power fully and unapologetically. And now there is no turning back. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them pretend they don't see the shift happening before their very eyes. But they feel it. They feel the weight of your presence. They feel the reality of their fading influence. They feel the walls closing in on the system they swore would never fall. A lion does not ask permission to roar. A storm does not apologize for the destruction it brings. And you do not shrink to make others feel safe. You are here to build something new, to lead a movement they cannot stop, to step into a reality where their illusions hold no power. You are not waiting. You are not hesitating. You are breaking through, and nothing can stop you now. Number 5. They cast the first stone. Now they tremble at your presence. The ones who laughed at your suffering now choke on their own regret. The ones who cast you aside now whisper your name in quiet shame. They wounded you and thought they'd never face the consequences, but the universe never forgets. There was a time when they mocked you, a time when they took pleasure in your pain. They twisted the knife, believing you would never rise. They spoke against you with confidence, thinking their words carried weight, believing their power over you was absolute. But now they feel the shift. Now they see what they could never unsee, and it terrifies them. The old ways of manipulation, the tactics they used to control and break you, all of it crumbled at your feet. The lies they spun, exposed. The illusions they upheld, destroyed. The power they thought they had, gone. And now, here they are, humbled, unsteady, trying to rewrite the past they swore would never catch up to them. They called you crazy, and now they seek your wisdom. They laughed at your pain, and now they drown in their own. The same doors they slammed in your face, they now stand before them, knocking. You don't even need to speak. You don't need to remind them of their failures. Your existence does that. The fact that you survived what was meant to destroy you is a louder message than any words could ever be. They see you, and in seeing you, they are forced to see themselves. Those who once wounded you now carry the weight of their choices. They feel it in the silence, in the empty spaces where their pride used to be, in the moments where they catch a glimpse of you and realize you were never the weak one. They were. They tried to silence you, to bury your truth, to break your spirit. And now they approach you with trembling hands, with words they never thought they'd have to say. Forgive me. But this is not about them. This was never about them. Their regret does not rewrite the past. Their apologies do not erase the scars. The only thing their guilt does is prove what you already knew. They knew exactly what they were doing. They saw your light, and instead of protecting it, they tried to snuff it out. And now they are left to face the universe. Because the universe never forgets. The universe never lets injustice go unanswered. And the reckoning, it has arrived. The weight of their actions is no longer yours to carry. Let them sit in the ruin they created. Let them face the silence they once forced upon you. Justice has already been served, because you are still here, and they can never undo that. Number 6. You were the storm all along, and now they can't escape it. They feared your rise because they knew it would expose their weakness. They built walls, set traps, spun illusions, but it was never enough, because you were never meant to be caged. You were the storm they couldn't stop. They thought they had you figured out. They thought they broke you. Every obstacle they placed before you, every manipulation they used, every illusion they crafted, it was all designed to keep you small, to keep you doubting, to keep you from ever realizing just how powerful you truly are. But the thing about illusions, they only work when you don't see through them. And you shattered them all. You were never weak. You were never lost. You were only waking up. And now there is no force. Not their rules, not their control, not their fear, that can keep you from rising. The walls they built were never strong enough. The chains they forged were never tight enough. And the moment you decided to rise, their power was gone. Now, as you walk forward, unshaken, unstoppable, they are the ones left behind, scrambling, desperate, forced to face their own shadows. The same ones who mocked you now look up at you, realizing you have become something they can never touch. And you don't look back. There is nothing left for you in the ruins of their control. Nothing left in the old systems, the old lies, the old cycles. You have outgrown them all. Your power isn't in the past. Your strength isn't in what was. It's in what's coming. It's in the future that belongs to you. The endless horizon stretching before you, limitless, waiting for you to claim it. You were never a prisoner. You were only waiting to remember who you are. And now that you have, there is no stopping you. They know it now. They feel it. The fear in their silence, the hesitation in their movements, the weight of the truth pressing down on them. You have become what they could never contain, and there is nothing they can do about it. Number 7. The light they tried to bury now blinds them. They tried to dim you, but they only made you shine brighter. They tried to silence you, but now your voice echoes through everything they built. They tried to bury you, but they forgot you were a seed. They thought they could contain you. They thought they could erase you. Every lie they spun, every tactic they used, every wall they built, it was all meant to keep you in the shadows, to make you doubt, to make you disappear. But they failed, because you were never meant to stay hidden. The moment they tried to suppress you, they sealed their own fate. Every attempt to dim your light only fueled the fire within you. Every betrayal, every attack, every roadblock, it all became fuel. Instead of breaking you, it refined you. Instead of weakening you, it made you unstoppable. They thought darkness could consume you, but instead, your light devoured the night. And now they have no choice but to witness what they can never contain. You stand fully in your power, unshaken, unafraid. The same ones who once mocked you now lower their eyes in your presence. The same ones who tried to silence you now hear your voice everywhere. Because you are no longer playing small. You are no longer asking for space. You are taking it. You are no longer bending to make others comfortable. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are here, fully, boldly, unapologetically, and they can do nothing about it. The light they feared has risen, and now it cannot be stopped. Number 8. Their betrayal was the fire, and you became the flame. They tried to break you because they could never match you. They turned against you because they feared what you would become. But their betrayal did not destroy you. It only refined you. You have felt the knife in your back, haven't you? The sting of betrayal from those you once trusted, the ones who were supposed to stand beside you. Family, friends, lovers, they were given a choice, to rise with you or to reject you. And time after time, they chose the latter. They didn't just walk away, they tried to destroy you. Why? Because your power was too much for them to handle. Your presence exposed everything they wanted to keep hidden. They saw something in you that they could never find within themselves, and instead of learning from it, they tried to tear it down. They mocked your purpose, not because it wasn't real, but because they feared it was. The moment you began to rise, they became your greatest opposition. Not strangers, not enemies from the outside, the ones closest to you, because nothing threatens weak souls more than the presence of someone stepping into their true power. So they lashed out. They minimized your pain, dismissed your growth, and tried to convince you that you were the problem. They wanted you to second-guess yourself, to hesitate, to dim your light just enough to make them feel comfortable. But you were never meant to blend in with the ordinary. They tried to break you because they could never be you. Every betrayal, every scar, every moment of rejection, it was all part of the process. You weren't being punished, you were being refined. You were being stripped of the illusions, forced to see the truth of who you are and who was never meant to walk beside you. Because the truth is, not everyone is meant to go where you are going. Not everyone is built for the heights you are destined to reach. And those who chose to betray you, that was their choice. The price they will pay is having to watch you rise, knowing they no longer have a place beside you. And now they sit in the silence of their own making, watching, wishing, but never again will they have access to you. You were not broken, you were reborn, and now they can only watch as you become everything they swore you'd never be. Number 9. They fed the fire, and now you burn brighter than ever. They thought they were breaking you, but all they did was sharpen you. They thought their betrayal would stop you, but it only cleared your path. Every wound they inflicted became the fuel that set you free. They played their games, didn't they? Toyed with your heart, twisted your trust, acted as if your presence in their lives was something to be discarded. They betrayed you, rejected you, tried to convince you that you were the problem. But they were wrong. Every time they underestimated you, every time they chose deception over loyalty, they sealed their own fate. Because instead of breaking you, they only fueled the fire. Every betrayal became a lesson. Every rejection became redirection. Every time they tried to push you down, you rose even higher. They thought they could contain you. They thought their words, their actions, their manipulation would be enough to keep you small. But they didn't understand who they were dealing with. You were never meant to be controlled. You were never meant to stay small. You were never meant to be anything less than unstoppable. For too long, you carried the weight of their rejection. You carried the pain of being misunderstood, of being cast aside, of being seen as too much for them to handle. But what they failed to realize was that their rejection was never your burden to bear. It was their weakness, their fear, their inability to stand beside someone who refuses to be caged. And now you release it all. You let it fall away like dead leaves in the wind, because you are done carrying the weight of people who were never strong enough to walk beside you. Their absence is not your loss. It is your liberation. You are stepping forward, fully, without hesitation, without apology, and there is nothing they can do to stop you. The past no longer defines you. The pain no longer controls you. You are free. You are rising, and they can only watch. Number 10. You were never meant to play their game, and now their world is crumbling. They wrote the rules, thinking they could keep you bound by them. They built the system, believing you'd never question it, but they never accounted for one thing: you were never meant to follow. For so long, they dictated what was possible. They told you who to be, how to think, where to stand. They divided people into boxes, labeled them, trapped them inside invisible cages. They thought their illusions were strong enough to shape reality itself. But now it's all collapsing. Not by force, not by rebellion, but by something far greater, the power of your energy. They never saw it coming. They never imagined that one person, simply by existing in their truth, could unravel an entire system. But that's exactly what's happening. The labels they clung to, meaningless. The divisions they enforced, powerless. The walls they built, already turning to dust. They thought they had created something unbreakable, but you were never part of their world. You were always beyond it. You rise, not by their metrics, not by their approval, not by their design. You rise because your energy transcends everything they built. You move forward without needing their validation. You are not bound by their rules because their rules were never real to begin with. They try to hold on. They try to reinforce the barriers, to cling to the old ways, to convince themselves that this shift isn't happening. But they feel it. They feel the ground shifting beneath them, the walls cracking, the illusions unraveling. And the more they resist, the faster it all falls apart. You don't break the system by fighting it. You break it by making it irrelevant. And that is exactly what you have done. While they scramble to uphold a dying world, you move beyond it effortlessly. You are no longer confined by the past, no longer shackled by their outdated beliefs. You exist in a reality they can't even comprehend. And that is why they fear you, because you are proof that they never had control to begin with. You rise, not through war, not through struggle, but through the simple, unstoppable truth. You were never meant to be contained, and now they can do nothing but watch. Number 11. You were never meant to save them, only to rise. A lighthouse does not beg ships to come to shore. It simply shines, and those who are ready will find their way. Your presence is disruptive, not because you force it to be, but because it has no choice but to be. When you walk into a space, the energy shifts, not because you speak the loudest, not because you demand attention, but because your very existence forces the truth to surface. They feel it, the weight of their illusions, the lies they've built their lives upon, the shadows they've buried deep within themselves, hoping never to confront them. And when they see you, standing in your truth, unshaken, unstoppable, it terrifies them. Because you are proof that the game was never real, that the system was never unbreakable, that everything they believed in was nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion. They spent their whole lives building a cage, only to see you walk free. But hear this now. You are not here to save them. Your rise is not an invitation. Your path is not theirs to walk. This journey is their own, and they must choose it for themselves. You are not their savior. You never were. For too long, you carried the weight of others. You tried to bring them with you, tried to make them see what you saw, tried to wake them up when they weren't ready. But now you are free of that burden. Because you have realized something powerful. You are no longer bound by their choices. Their limitations do not define you. Their fears do not hold you back. their unwillingness to grow is no longer your problem. Some will awaken, some will not, but neither will stop you from stepping into your power. You have entered a new realm, a space where truth and energy are the only currency, where deception has no place, where the masks fall away, the illusions dissolve, and only those who are truly ready can walk beside you. And the rest, they will be left behind, not because you wish them harm, not because you hate them, but because they chose their world, and you chose yours. This is not cruelty. This is not arrogance. This is the way of things. A butterfly does not return to the cocoon to convince the caterpillars that wings exist. And you are done trying to convince those who refuse to see. You are moving forward, without hesitation, without apology, and without waiting for anyone to catch up. You were not sent here to pull others from the fire. You were sent to walk through it and emerge untouched. And now you rise, unshackled, unstoppable, unbound by the weight of those who were never meant to walk beside you. This is your destiny, and you are finally embracing it. Number 12. The power of your divine purpose. Unshaken, unstoppable, unmatched. When the universe calls, it does not whisper, it roars, and those who are ready will hear it in their souls. How many times have you doubted yourself? How many times have you looked in the mirror and asked, am I really meant for something greater? Or am I just another face in the crowd, lost in the noise? Let me tell you something. Stop doubting your power. It's time to stop questioning your worth, your abilities, your potential. For far too long, you have allowed the doubts to creep in, clouding your vision, holding you back from stepping into the full force of your destiny. You've let the world dictate who you should be, telling you to follow the rules, stay in line, shrink yourself to fit into the small spaces they made for you. But that's not you. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to hide your brilliance in the shadows. You were born to stand out, to rise higher than the limitations they've imposed on you, to walk in your divine purpose like the unstoppable force you were always meant to be. It's time to wake up and realize you were born for greatness. And when the universe called you, it didn't ask if you were ready. It didn't wait for you to get comfortable. It didn't care about your doubts. The universe called, and you answered. But now you need to believe it, own it, and step into it with unshakable confidence. Stop apologizing for your brilliance. Stop hiding in the corner, waiting for permission to take your place. You are not here to play small. You are here to create, to lead, to influence in ways others can't even begin to imagine. But the first step in that is accepting your divine purpose. Enough of the excuses. Every time you question whether you deserve this, every time you doubt your power, you are disrespecting the universe's plan for you. You are telling the very force that created you, that shaped you, that has been guiding you every step of the way that you aren't worthy. Stop wasting your time in self-pity. Stop wasting your energy in self-doubt. It's time to own your divine purpose, to recognize the truth of who you are and what you're capable of. The universe doesn't make mistakes. You were designed for something massive. every experience, every challenge, every heartache, every victory. It was all part of your preparation for this moment. You are not weak. You are not insignificant. You are a force to be reckoned with. You are here to do things that others are too scared to even dream of. And yet, here you are, questioning your every move, wondering if you are really cut out for this. Why are you holding yourself back? Why are you playing small when the world is waiting for you to step into your power? Why are you waiting for someone else to give you the green light to start living the life you've always dreamed of? The time is now. You are ready. You've always been ready. But the only thing standing in your way is your own mind, your own fear, your own refusal to fully accept that you are meant for more. Let me tell you something else. You are not waiting for your purpose to find you. Your purpose is already here. It has always been inside you. You are not searching for something that is outside of you. The power, the purpose, the reason you are here, it is in you right now. All you need to do is embrace it. All you need to do is stop holding back and let your true self rise. You've let doubt control your life long enough. Now it's time to rise beyond that, to step into the greatness that has always been waiting for you. Stop being afraid of your own power. Stop fearing what will happen when you actually step into your potential. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, you will face resistance. But that's part of the process. You can't have the life you want without facing the fear that's trying to keep you small. You can't step into your purpose without breaking through the barriers that have been holding you back. And you can't allow yourself to keep doubting your power. Look at everything you've been through. Look at how far you've come. How many times have you been knocked down, told you weren't good enough, told you weren't capable? And yet, here you are. You are still standing. You are still moving forward. You are still rising. How much more evidence do you need that you are meant to do something incredible? How many more times do you need to prove to yourself that you can handle anything that comes your way? You've survived every storm, every setback, every betrayal, and you're still here. That's not coincidence. That's purpose. Now, are you ready to stop doubting it? Are you ready to stop second-guessing your every step and start taking ownership of your journey? Because this is your moment. This is your time. No more waiting for someone to give you permission. No more holding back because you're scared of what people might think or say. No more playing it safe because you're afraid of failure. You are destined for more, and it's time to claim it. So, if this message resonates with you, if you feel the pull in your soul to step into your power, hit that like button and subscribe. Let the universe know that you're ready. Let the world know that you are here and you're not going anywhere. And share this message with someone who needs it, someone who is still hiding, still waiting, still doubting their power. The more we share this energy, the more we create a collective awakening, a movement of people who are finally stepping into the truth of who they are and what they are meant to do. Leave a comment below and tell me, how are you preparing for your own triumphant return? This is not the time to shrink. This is the time to rise. You were never meant to be held back. You were born to lead, to create, to influence. Now is the time to own it. Don't let the doubt, the fear, or the rejection hold you back any longer. You are unstoppable. You are unmatched. And you are ready. And now, the choice is yours. No more hesitation. No more questioning. The universe has already spoken. You were meant for this. Every challenge, every betrayal, every moment of doubt was shaping you for this very moment. Now, it's time to step forward, fully, boldly, without apology. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments as a sign that you are ready to embrace your power. Share this with others who need to hear it. The time for waiting is over. You are ready. Now, rise.